The earth is waking up from the winter sleep. It's getting warmer and greener, trees are starting to bloom again, and everything is ready for a new year to start. Yes, the Iranian New Year. As the solar calendar says, the first day of spring is a perfect time to start a new year. We call this day Nowrooz, that means a new day. Nowrooz usually starts on March 21st and lasts for about 2 weeks, with all the traditions and funs and runs. Nowrooz is the day of vernal equinox that marks the beginning of the spring in northern hemisphere. The moment the sun crosses the celestial equator, that I have no idea what that means, day and night are in the same length. This moment is the start of the spring that is not a fixed time. It changes every year due to the duration of the Earth's rotation, which is 365 days and 6 hours. So it changes every year for about 6 hours. It's interesting to note that in 2010, the UN General Assembly included Nowruz on its calendar as the start of the new year in Iran and Afghanistan that 300 million people celebrated around the world. But where does it come from? It's very old. This is a Persepolis relief from 500 years BC. Of course, the lion and the cow are symbols. Day and night, warm season and cold season, light and darkness, all of them. The lion triumphs over the cow. So, Nowruz is coming. Yeah, it's that aged. But I don't know how much their Nowruz was like ours. Would they shake their houses too? Yeah, the first thing we do for Nowruz is khune tekuni, that literally means shaking the house. In this step, you should clean everything in the house perfectly. And yeah, this is a part of the celebration. It starts about a month before Nowruz, or more, or less. It depends on your mom. And it's all about refreshing. You shake your house carefully and prepare it to welcome the new year. At this point, there's always a happy woman on TV who says, "It's not all about cleaning the house. You should wipe all the hatred out of your hearts too. It's the best time. Go and make peace with your friends and don't carry all those bad feelings with you into the new year." Okay, I'll try it, but honestly, Nowruz has too much expectations from us. In the meantime, don't forget to grow a sabze, which is a kind of grass planted in a dish, usually from wheat. Now it's a few days left. We color some eggs as a symbol of fertility. And then, shopping! You have to have new clothes for the new year. Now everywhere is clean, everyone in their new dresses, sitting around a sofre, waiting for the new year. Sofre can be translated to tablecloth, but it's not just for the table. Actually, the traditional way to use a sofre is to put it on the floor, on a Persian carpet, and sit around it. This sofre is called, or it's going to be called, sofre haft sin, or the 7 S's. We put 7 items that start with the letter S on it. As you know, the number 7 is special. It's a holy number in many cultures. But the S's, each of them has a meaning. Sib symbolizes beauty and health. Serke or vinegar shows satisfaction and eternity. Samanu, a great dessert or food, I can say, that I think most people just buy and never eat. But it's very nutritive and very healthy because its sweetness comes from wheat germs, not sugar. And it's also very early. People used to make it from a long, long time ago. Seer or garlic represents medicine and health. Sumak is a sour spice that people mostly use on 2 occasions, hafsin and kebab. It makes it very delicious. Sumak represents patience and new beginning. Patience for a new beginning. Sanjet represents love and wisdom. Yes, these two get along so well here. Now, the most important one, sabze, represents rebirth. People sometimes put sa'at, seke, or sombul on their hafsins. But it's wrong. It should be eatable and herbal. But it's not all about us. There's also another common item on hafsin. Fish. Yes, goldfish as a symbol of life, I think. Some people say it's kind of cruel to act with fishes like this, breeding them in a small place and they will just leave for a few days unhalf-seen and done. But some others say you should know how to keep it, and we can keep it for 3-4 years. I don't know. I never really liked them. I remember when I was a child, I would do this to see what would happen to the fish, and each time the wicked wild fish would bite me. So keeping them is not really easy. My family and I thought a few years ago that buying a fish and murdering it at the start of the year doesn't show life that much. So we simply do this. And some sources say people used to do this in ancient time. You can do this too. By the way, water and mirror show honesty and purity. Then we need a book, a holy or poetry book. I use both. There's enough space. And my ugly egg. I think the right way to color them is to boil them with something like an onion peel that gives them a kind of a red color, like my father's grandma used to do. She would give them to us a few weeks before Nowrooz. I remember once it was Nowrooz and my cousin and I were playing, and suddenly we felt hungry. So we simply peeled the eggs of half-seen and ate them. When our parents found out, they were panicked. They thought that something's gonna happen to us, but nothing happened and we're still alive. The point of the story was that half-seen has magical features. Do not underestimate it. And of course, to complete the celebration, we need some sweets as a symbol of sweetness. Okay, it's ready. But I always wondered why S? And did the ancient people really do all these things? I mean, they wouldn't do something just because it's interesting, or they didn't have Instagram to compare their half-seens together. So I studied about it, and the result was noticeable. When I look at the current half-seen, it's easier for me to accept what some experts believe. The story of half-seenie instead of half-seen. Apparently, the tradition of growing grains at the start of the year has deep roots in Iranian culture. In the old period, before Nowrooz, people would plant some grains on top of some columns made of clay, and they were kept until the last day of Nowrooz. Each of these plants were more fertile, would produce a better crop that year, and were chosen to be the product of the year. But as I told you, it wasn't just a decoration. They would wait until their sabzes made new grains, and then they would make bread with them. So it really makes sense to me. With the pass of time, sini or salver turned to sin, which is a letter in the Persian alphabet. Oh my god, there's no half-seen. Oh, my life was a lie? I should bake bread out of my sabza to be a true Iranian? No, there's no need to do that. You know what? I think the most important S here is sofra. No matter what's on it, it gathers us together on the most beautiful time of the year. The essential part is sitting around one thing, everyone looking at it and praying for a better year in silence. And then, Happy New Year! There are a lot of kisses and hugs and Sal No Mubarak. And a 2-week holiday that on its last day we go out and enjoy the nature and set our sabzas free, and then just going back to ordinary life and school, and I think we can finish here. Sal No Mubarak.